You know, Bob,
Yes.
maybe it's more merciful. In nature, the hopelessly ill and dying...
Oh, wait a minute, Edward, you're the guy with the dialysis? Edward, you're persona non grata. I'm sick and tired of your diatribes. Take a trip around the world, will you? On a slow boat. Hello, Keith. I'm so tired of hearing Edward and the diatribe about the medical profession, you know. Would somebody please give him a kidney? Hello, Keith. If a physician...
Some of them act as if they are, and I have experienced this personally. I have spoken to you before. I'm a kidney dialysis patient. I spoke up for consumer and patient rights in healthcare. I've been actually deliberately medically mistreated and tortured, believe it or not, on the kidney dialysis machine. And right in Queens, for instance...
When you go to Vincent Price, who was your doctor?
I want to tell you, some of the people in healthcare have an attitude. In fact, one of the technicians even said to me recently, well, everybody in dialysis thinks they're God. Well, you know something? It seems some of the people in healthcare don't have respect for life, and it's a very serious problem. And I have been medically mistreated at Booth Memorial in Flushing, Queens.
All right, we could hear about every little hangnail you've had, about every time you stubbed your toe.
Talking about
if I let you go on and on, we'd hear about every little thing that happened to you in your life. Thank you, Edward.
Malpractice and gross negligence in our hospitals every year. Medical malpractice and healthcare crime, such as...
What are you reading from, Edward?
Well, this is a little something that I jotted down.
Oh.
But I can give it to you just verbatim. Or you know, the whole point, though, is, for instance, now our multi-billion-dollar annual Medicare tax fraud bite, for example. So the point is this, you know, we have a problem with street crime and other forms of crime, but we have to take a good look and put the spotlight also in our hospitals and in our healthcare facilities. Now, there's good work being done, too, but the other side of the coin is that there's millions of unnecessary surgeries, there's patient abuse, very serious problem, and that's why it is the duty of the Mengele Medical Award Committee.
What is Mengele? What is that? What are you making this up?
To expose...
You're making this up, you jerk.
No.
You sick jerk. There's no such award.
Oh, yes.
You're talking about Dr. Joseph Mengele?
Well, we're talking about a small group to expose human rights violations in our healthcare system. And
Edward, you got a problem. Are you the guy with the... have you ever had dialysis?
Well, now...
Wait a minute. Have you ever had dialysis? I asked you a question. Can you give me an answer, yes or no?
But look, that's not the issue.
I will ask you one more time, and if you don't answer, your history. Are you undergoing dialysis?
I am undergoing dialysis.
Okay, then you're the guy. Hey, Ed.
Yeah.
Why don't you take a vacation? You know, you got on a kick. You discovered this program. You got on a kick, and every couple of days you have to call with this same litany. I'm getting a little tired of it. Why don't you get a girlfriend? Now get off my phone.
Medically abused.
Would you get off my phone, please?
Ongoing.
Would you please get off my phone so I can get on with the broadcast?
Ongoing medical abuse.
Would you please, Edward, your dialysis machine is waiting. Would you please get off the phone?
Could be a problem for you someday.
Would you please get off the phone?
And that's the message.
Now, would you get off the phone, please?
And apathy, as in Nazi days, allows...
Can't get this guy off the phone. Hey, guess what, Edward?
Yeah?
I'm going to have to take you off.
Yes, Bob. By love and selfless giving. This is patient rights activist Eddie Carbone.
All right, there's Eddie checking in and checking out. They wheeled him out. It's 16 before 7. So, brain lobes. You need a lobe job, Eddie.
Well, Bob, you know, these Walkman are great.
I wonder who gives lobe jobs. Pick up a copy of the latest magazine and find out where you get a lobe job. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you know, but seriously, the Walkman, I just got one recently, and, you know, I can listen to you all over. In fact, you know, they're so great I could even make love and listen to you at the same time.
Wait a minute, Eddie. This is a vestige of your personality I never knew of before. I thought you were just on a dialysis machine.
Well, when I'm off the dialysis machine, I do other things. If I'm not too debilitated from their treatment that I get over there at Booth. But Bob, you know...
It works. Everything works, Eddie. When you're not on a everything works.
Bob, but, you know, it's great, the Walkman, but there's one problem. My partner gets upset when I stop to call you. But listen, what I wanted to say, you know, I have a more conservative poem for you.
Good.
And it's for you and your listeners to celebrate spring, but I retain copyright. Okay, Bob? Would you like to hear it?
This is the great Eddie Carbone, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to name the West Wing of Booth Memorial Hospital after him someday. I know it. Go ahead, Eddie.
Walking through sun and green, I need not of gold and emeralds dream. Long as the sun sets in western sky, I require not the red of rubies for my eye. And looking up in clear night, I see my diamonds sparkling bright. I need not the poor riches of man. What I have is far more grand. And Bob, maybe someday I'll put my poems together, publish a book, and use some of the money to help the suffering people who are not receiving proper treatment in our healthcare system. Because we really have a problem, Bob, and it's no joke. And I agree with the lady who called before. No one is above the law. And Bob, not even weasels in white, thieves, liars, and murderers in our healthcare system. Have a good weekend, Bob.
It'll be good because I talked to you, Eddie.
Thank you.
Eddie of Booth Memorial Hospital fame. He gets his dialysis treatments there, though, but when he comes in there, they have to be on the best behavior. Hello, Linda.
Yeah.
Edward, you're on WABC. Hello.
Hello, Bob. People with money are victimized more.
Oh, dear me.
Than people.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Go back to Booth Memorial, Ed, will you, for heaven's sake?
We're talking now concerning what the professor said, and I want to make a couple of points that people with money...
You know, Ed, you gave me a nice vacation. What are you doing back on the line again?
Well, I survived healthcare abuse.
Unfortunately, you did.
And the rich and the poor suffer from healthcare abuse. It's not just the poor. Rich and poor. Unnecessary surgery, for example.
You're right. There's a lot of unnecessary surgery.
The rich, for example, can afford more unnecessary lab tests. In fact, there was an article in the journal, the medical journal, and it's possible that the people who can afford the insurance and so forth may be getting more unnecessary lab tests and more unnecessary heart surgery. It's possible.
No, you're right, Eddie. I hate to say it, but you're right again. And the reason for that is they are so afraid of being sued.
Well, we have to have better monitoring and full accountability in healthcare. Must be no sacred cows. Healthcare practitioners and hospital administrators are not above the law. And they should remember that at Booth Memorial, too.
All right, Eddie. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, they have named the right wing facing Casino Boulevard of Booth Memorial Hospital. They've renamed it the Eddie Carbone Memorial Wing. Even though Eddie is still, thank heavens, with us and will be with us for a long time. When's the last time you had a dialysis, Eddie?
Yesterday, and they did a human rights violation. She put the blood pump up extra higher than was good for me. It was too high, too stressful, excessive saline during blood rinse back. These people are monsters. It's wrong. And I want to tell you, in nursing homes, for example, there are people who cannot get to the phone and tell you what's going on. And we have to do something about it. Do have a good day, Bob.
Eddie, thank you for the call.
Have a good day.
All right, I'm glad Eddie called. At first I thought, oh, here we go again, but there's something therapeutic about Eddie's calls.
Well, Bob, it was a pleasure hearing from Eddie over at Booth Memorial. I thought Peretti had croaked on us, you know?
Yeah, no, Eddie is still alive. Eddie, as a matter of fact, someday they're going to rename Booth Memorial Eddie Carbone Memorial Hospital. They're going to name the whole place after him.
Well, I know there's a wing named after Eddie right now. Eddie is really a advocate for public health, and God bless him.
Yeah, you got to love the guy.
Still think we have some good men and women in this country. This is Eddie Carbone, your patient rights activist. And how can some of you stand by while I'm improperly medically treated and debilitated 3 times a week while helpless on the kidney dialysis machine in New York City at Booth? Have a good day, Bob.
All right, Eddie. As Eddie Carbone, they're going to name the West Wing of Booth Memorial Hospital after Eddie Carbone. I just know.
He passed the tough exterior. A compassionate, caring man. Congratulations, Bob.
Oh, it's Eddie.
Eddie Carbone.
Eddie Carbone. They're going to name...
but Carbone.
They're going to name... By the way, ladies and gentlemen, they are going to name the Casino Boulevard entrance to Booth Memorial Hospital.
It's on Main Street. And they have a dialysis satellite.
Is that where the dialysis... Well, they're going to name the dialysis division the Eddie Carbone Memorial Unit.
Well, the dialysis
but you
satellite...
What's that?
the dialysis satellite is already named after Trudy Weishaupt, who apparently was a very wonderful woman, and her husband is a builder and a philanthropist. But unfortunately, Trudy, if only you knew what goes on in the dialysis facility named after you. But anyway, how I got on in regards to prisoners being paid when a bed is not available. I think that convicted criminals should pay their victims or their victims' relatives. That includes all criminals. What is the difference between a drug addict mugger who commits armed robbery and a drug-impaired physician who performs fraudulent, unnecessary surgery? Every year, tens of thousands of Americans die needlessly in our hospitals nationwide due to negligence alone. Negligence alone.
Eddie,
I'm getting better.
You're getting better. You are.
You're helping me out, Bob. I'm going to become a great announcer with your help. I'll keep calling you.
Eddie, why don't you call John Mainelli? Tell him you want to do a
show?
A show. Tell him you
All
want
right.
to do a show on medical fraud.
Oh, of course. Because, you know, many of our elderly citizens, there was a new study released just yesterday, are tied needlessly to their beds and overdrugged and underfed.
What do you think of the guy who was just on ahead of you? He's hooked on Valium. How did that happen, Eddie?
Well, it's a shame some people become dependent on that. You should try to tough it out, you know, and what have you. And I think you should try to get high on life.
That's it, Eddie.
Yeah.
All right, listen, Eddie.
Yes.
I want to congratulate you on being a triumph of the human spirit over adversity.
Well, thank you, Bob.
Okay, Eddie.
Have a good day.
As a guy who's been undergoing dialysis for years and years, and has quite a spirit and a good sense of humor, he used to get on my nerves. But I've come to like Eddie. I've come to have a fondness for him. Let's get back to our phones.
This airport's based in the Philippines.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I can't believe it. I thought you were going to talk about dialysis or the medical okay. Edward's enlarging his scope here. All right.
That should humble us all.
Yes,
And Bob, I would hope that you'd be courteous enough to let me finish. Okay.
Well, you know me, Edward. I'm one of the most courteous people on the face of the earth.
Wonderful. Because, you know, in this world there are such things as earthquakes, floods, famine, wild beasts, sickness, old age, dialysis patients. But there is also great beauty. See, I want to balance the show a little bit right now. But there is also great beauty, wonder, and promise. And within each man and woman, there is the potential to do good or evil. Love is the light that shines through the darkest night, that warms the heart and gives it flight.
Hey, what?
Fills the soul with true delight. This is Eddie Carbone, patient right. Now, if you want me to talk about healthcare prices, I will. I could just tell you very briefly that our healthcare crisis, statewide and nationwide, is more than a money crunch and a nursing shortage. And national health care is not a panacea. You need better screening and monitoring and full accountability of health care practitioners as well as health care administrators. And we need more love. Bob, have a good day. I love you.
Eddie, I think you're ready to take over for Bernie Meltzer any minute now.
Well, listen, maybe we can go to Reo Diner and have cranberry ice.
Cranberry ice at the Reo...
Wouldn't that be a great idea?
I don't think they have cranberry ice at the Reo Diner.
They could freeze some cranberry juice. In fact, you actually said that if I was down there, that old jar of cranberry juice that you Gibbons left, that we would share it. Do you remember that? It was a long time.
Oh, that was a long time ago. That was for your prostate.
Well, I never had.
Oh, well, then you don't have to drink cranberry juice. The cranberry juice concoction is for guys with prostate trouble.
No, it's also for kidney dialysis patients because it's low in potassium. Because an overload of potassium could kill a dialysis patient.
Oh, well, then stay away from melons. Cantaloupes are number one in potassium.
And bananas.
Followed by bananas, followed by potatoes. So there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so that's strange. I had some healthcare workers offering me a banana pie one now. Listen, take care, Bob.
All right, Eddie. What a guy. You're on WABC. Hello.
Hello, Bob. Over 30 years ago, I believe, the New York Daily News printed a story about the tragic death of a young elementary school child. There was a pushing incident
among a lineup of fourth graders right before dismissal on a stairwell at PS 179. A boy at the front of the line fell and hit his head. He died of his injuries. I don't think that any of those 8 or 9-year-olds intended to hurt anyone, let alone kill a fellow student. But the story does not end there. Instead of accepting this tragic accident, the boy's father lashed out at one particular child, blaming him for the death of his young son. The father actually followed this 9-year-old boy to camp, telling other children or having another child or children that he brought with him tell other children at the camp that the boy was crazy and that he was a child murderer. My information is that the dead boy's father, insane with hatred for this boy, actually had the boy poisoned 1 year later at another camp with a drug which caused kidney damage and may have caused the slow onset of eventual renal failure years later, or the early onset of kidney failure from a pre-existing condition.
All right.
And this was the intent. My point, in this world it is unfortunate that there are many accidental tragedies, but even more unfortunate, some tragedies are not accidental and are man-made. Some are victims of their own irrational hatred, how hatred must rob from their lives. This is it.
All right, thank you very much, Eddie, on WABC. That's Eddie making his weekly sojourn, his weekly appearance.